Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming into my kitchen. It is so good to see you. Well, we are starting on a journey around the world. This is around the world in 80 breads. I'm going to start doing breads from different countries. I don't think I'll do all 80, but it's a good title. Do you remember Around the World in 80 Days? This is Around the World in 80 Breads. Today, we're going to start out real simple. We're going to start out with the U.S. Americanized French bread. It's very simple. It's a no-knead recipe. So I thought that would be a real simple way to start out. So having said that, let's get started. I have my bowl here, and I'm going to add some warm water. The correct temperature for water when you're doing bread is around 100, but if it's just a good warm temperature, you'll be fine. And then I'm going to add to that some yeast. And I'm also going to add a little sugar. We're going to feed that. We're going to feed that yeast. And I'm going to give it, oh, I can smell that yeast. It smells wonderful. And I'm going to give this a good stir and get that sugar and that yeast all dissolved, because we want to make sure that it's all liquid there. So once I can see this is all dissolved, and then we're going to let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes to see if it like bubbles up, you know, so that shows you that yeast is alive and it's hungry and it's ready to go. So once I have that all put together, I'll see you. It's been about 5 minutes, and if you look there, you can see there's lots of action going on in there. There's little gas bubbles, and you see stuff under the surface of the water. So this is ready to go. And I've got some unbleached flour here, and I'm just going to dump that right in there. See how easy this is? I thought this would be a really easy recipe to start off with. Then I've got a teaspoon and a half of salt. And of course, I'll have the ingredients and the instructions in the description box down below, so you don't have to worry about taking notes along the line. And then I'm going to use, this is an amazing dough whisk. This comes from the Jean Renault company, and it's great for mixing up batters and doughs, and that's really what it's made for. It's got a great handle on it, real strong, so it can take a beating, if you will. All right, this is looking good. Now this is going to look nothing like what you think bread dough should look like. It's going to look just like it's turning out here. It's going to turn out shaggy, and some places are going to say, you know, it's a little wet or it's a little dry, and that's perfectly normal. So you don't have to worry about, you know, thinking I've screwed this up, because you haven't. It's just right. All right, get a little more out of there. Okay, do that. I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl here. And just kind of make sure it's all picked up from the bottom there. Yeah, whoops. Yeah, that's looking good. Yeah, I think that looks really good. So I'm just going to, you know, like I said, just kind of let this sit just as it looks. I'm going to put some plastic wrap over it. And if you have an oven that has like a warming, proofing function, that would be a great thing. You could put it in there. If it's a nice, you know, warm day in your kitchen, just leave it on the counter. And it should take about 2 hours. And what we're going to see is really a doubling of this dough. See, look at that. I mean, does that look anything like a dough that you'd think about kneading, you know, and all that? Because you don't need to knead it. You don't need to knead it. So I'm going to let this sit, like I said. Probably it'll take a good 2 hours. I'm not going to do anything with it. And once that is completely proofed up, I'll bring it back and we will get it ready to go into the oven. It's going to be good. We are back, and this took about 2 hours. See, it's really done a nice job of rising. It's very fluffy, and I'm going to hit it with some flour here. And I've got this, you know, if you don't have one of these, that's fine, but it does help kind of get in the bowl shape. And we're going to bring this down away from the bowl. I'm not necessarily going to I don't want to beat it down, because there's gas bubbles in there, which is going to give our bread a nice texture. So then I have a piece of parchment paper here, and I'm just going to give it, by the way, this is from the Jean Le Monde collection. And I had misspoke when I had shown you that beautiful whisk. I said Jean Renault, and I don't even know where that came from, but it's the Jean Lemon, and they make so beautiful baking, accessories, I guess for a better word. So I'm giving this a good sprinkle here, and I'm going to bring this bread out of here. It's a nice weight. Okay, here it comes. There we go. And I'm going to just kind of fold it in on itself. I've got it on a piece of parchment paper. And I have a little trick, maybe everybody else does who bakes bread, if, a no-knead style. I use this parchment paper, and I actually, to form my loaf while the oven is heating up, and it helps keep that shape. I'm not kneading it. What I'm doing is I'm just pulling this bread dough over on itself, if you can see, just kind of pulling it over and pulling it over. And that kind of helps a little bit, gives some strength to the exterior of the bread. So here's my bowl, which is a little smaller than the pot I'll be putting it in. But see, this is what I do. I put it in here, and that is like a shaper for it. It kind of helps keep that loaf-looking brand around. And then when I'm ready to put it into the oven, I can actually just lift it up out of the bowl, and it goes right into my pot. There you go. So this is going to probably take, well, about 30 minutes. And I'm going to get my oven started. So it's actually, I'm not going to get my oven started. I forgot. I'm going to do something different today. Instead of putting the pot in my vacuum just turned on. If you hear a noise, we have an automatic vacuum, and it just decided to turn on. I've always put my pot in the oven and got it really hot and put the dough in it. I don't like it. It's getting too much. So, okay, here's what's just happened. I told you our little floor vacuum started up, and I was telling you about the fact the director blew it over there. That's what I like. I've told you this before in other videos. I could do fast videos, and I could rush through these things in 2 or 3 minutes. And, if that's your style, that's okay. I like to do it. I think you should sit down, have a little relax, and watch Jill for Today and find out all the antics. That's really a blooper or an outtake, but I don't know how to cut it out. Anyway, he thought I said I don't like it, meaning I wanted him to stop the video. I didn't like the fact that, okay, let's go back. I was talking about the pot that goes in the oven, the cast iron pot. Usually I put it in the oven and get it really hot, then put the dough in there. Well, there's another theory that my good friend Bob in South Carolina, who does a lot of baking, he says, don't heat it. Just put your dough in there and put it in a cold oven. And I like that idea better because that pot's hot. Anyway, enough of that. We'll put some saran wrap over this so protect it. I'm going to turn I'm not going to turn my on. I keep forgetting that's not what I'm going to do. We'll be back in about 35 minutes. Hi, I'm back. This dough rose in this bowl for about 40 minutes. And as you can see, look how beautiful that is. Look how nice that is. This will be your first loaf of bread if you've never baked before. And I told you it'd be easy. So now, as I said before, I just, by the corners here, I pick up this bread and I just slip it right into my cast iron pot. If you have a Dutch oven, something like that, if you had a fry pan, you could do this. It's going to be a little different, but you could use a fry pan. So now what I'm going to do is, I will admit, I'm terrible at this. This is what they call, I don't know whether it's a lame, but it's, it gives you those beautiful little grooves in and I'm terrible. I'm telling you right up front, I'm just terrible. I cannot do it. I don't know what it is, what the secret is, but I don't have the secret. So I'm not even going to pretend. I'm going to put the lid on this. I'm going to put it in my oven, and I'm going to set it for 450 degrees, and I'm going to let it cook 45 minutes, about that, 40 to 45 minutes. And then I will take the lid off, and it'll still be pale, and I'll let it cook bake another 15 minutes. And that should, and get that beautiful golden color, that deep, rich, almost mahogany color. And that'll really give you the idea that it is done. If you do use thermometers in your kitchen. It should be between 2 and 210 with a digital thermometer or some kind of kitchen thermometer. But if you have that really good color and it's baked that long, chances are that bread is really, really done. I will let this cool just a little bit once it comes out of the oven, and I know someone's going to want a slice. So once that is ready to occur, we will come back. I'm telling you what, flour all over my face. This cooked 45 minutes, and then I took the lid off it, and I cooked it about another 18 to get this beautiful, beautiful color. I mean, really, the thing about bread, and we lived in Boise for a couple of years, and I used to make a lot of sourdough, and that crust would come out so crunchy, and I've never been able to achieve, even when I do a full out sourdough bread, the whole 9 yards with the spring in the oven and all that, I've never been able to achieve that crunch. And we think it might have been something about the elevation or the dryness in the air. Because when this came out of the oven, and this is always the case when I make this bread, the crust is crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. Now, I mean, this, you hear that. I mean, that's good. There's no complaints there. But, boy, I'll tell you, that other crust, I mean, it would just go flying. It was so crispy. Okay, now, let's take a look in here. It's still extremely warm. I actually might have cut it too soon. If you cut, I might have cut it too soon. If you cut a bread that's too hot, it just goes swoosh. And I think I might, oh gosh, it smells good. You ready for a slice back there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You want butter? Oh, sure.
Well, I'd like to try it both ways.
Okay. All right. Oh, I was showing it.
Oh.
Go ahead, take it.
I thought it was.
You're not going to get it. Yeah, here you go. I want to take a little piece of it too. Yeah.
It's nice and warm. It smells wonderful.
It is very warm. It's too warm, really, to butter or to cut. Mmm. Mm. That crust turned out good.
Almost got a little beer bread flavor.
Mm. That's very good.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is kind of my go-to recipe when I do bread. Excuse me. When I want to do just a go-to, easy, Americanized French bread, this is the one I do. And it's always tasty. I'm going to give this to you with a little butter. Okay.
Oh, no. Don't, please.
A little, maybe.
Oh.
Now, I will leave you the instructions and the directions and the recipe down below. Next time, I told you, around the world in native breads, next time we are going to Iceland, and we are going to have Iceland rye bread. Can you imagine that?
1 down, 79 to go.
There you go. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you so much for coming into my kitchen. I just love seeing you when you're here. Please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. It's good. It's good for the algorithms. And leave your comments and your questions, because I always am happy to answer your questions. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.